Hey, welcome to Adventures with Peps. Today we are painting this wonderful little Mongoose Games Cursed Earth Mutie with a shotgun, aka my shotgun horror. He is a pretty basic model. I'm hoping the army speed paints will pick up some nice details on him though, so let's get going. We are going to kick things off with dark wood. We're going to use this on his boots to represent some dirty dark leather, and the wood effects on the shotgun, so the handle, the gun barrel, the stock, I guess, is that what it's called? The pump action? I don't know my way around a gun at all, so if I'm using the wrong terms, who cares? So, what is everyone up to? I hope these projects have been inspiring you to get some Judge Dredd painted, and hopefully you'll be playing the game soon. I really want to get another battle report done, so that is a top priority for me. We are going to get that done as soon as I possibly can. But I need to finish painting the gang that the judges will be going up against, so that should be a priority. But there's just so many nice figures to paint in my collection, it's hard to work out what order to do them in. And whilst I'm waffling away, we are going to skip on to the next section. And with that, we're pretty much done. I will realise later on that I missed some bits, so further into the video you'll see more brown appear on that shotgun. I was just distracted, so you know, you miss stuff now and again. We're going to tackle his pants next. The reason I picked that, it's another dark colour. His coat is going to be pretty light in the colourings, so I want to get all these darker, brighter colours on first. So we're hitting up the trousers with bright High Lord blue. The reason I'm doing it this way around is if I make a mistake and catch the coat, I can fix it before applying any speed paints. Trying to do it the other way around will just make a mess. This blue is a lot brighter than the blues I use on my judges. My reasoning being, I have a pair of Vans work trousers. They're a nice bright blue, and this guy looks like he'd wear Vans. I don't know why. I should have done his shoes in checks thinking about it. That would have driven me nuts. But he deserves some bright blue colours. He's been in the Cursed Earth. He needs to look nice now and again. So I'm going to make sure that any of the darker recesses are absolutely flooded with this paint to give it a nice dark effect. Whereas the rest, we'll just get a normal coat on. You can already see the colour taking shape. This is a bright, bold blue. Definitely not your traditional denim colour. And I really like it. This is going to be basically his pop of colour. So I wanted these trousers to stand out a little bit. I nearly went for yellow, but blue made a little bit more sense. And with that drying, we're going to head on to the metallics of the shotgun. So once again, I'll grab the trusty runic grey paint. I love this colour, you know I love it. It just works so well on metallic-y areas. It's at this point that I realise I missed a load of the brown. That's why you saw me hesitate a little bit. I'm just going to start applying that, trying to get a nice shade into the recesses, trying to do it in one smooth brush stroke, trying to avoid any brush markings. And whilst I finish that up, I will also fix the brown that I missed. With the grey applied and the brown fixed, we move on to the flesh. I was really unsure how to colour him. There's a part of me that wants to go silly mutant colours, bright red or bright green. But I decided to try and play it a bit safer. I'm using Crusader Flesh, making sure I'm getting a nice dark colouring on it, trying to avoid his teeth to keep them nice and clean, because I thought it'd be funny if he had pretty bright teeth. And what we're going to do is apply some other colours, especially to his burnt skin. Whilst the colour is still wet, we're going to apply a few other colours that we can fake some wet blending, I guess would be the terminology. But to start off with, just picking out all the skin. He's got some great texture on the back of his head, which is where I want to try and pick out some more detail. But I also want to avoid his hair as much as possible. And then on his hands, he is actually wearing gloves. So I didn't have to do too much flesh tone there. I just decided to pick out a little bit of his burnt area with some darker wash. I've got to try and make sure it stays wet enough for long enough for me to do these fake wet blends. So whilst I'm doing this, let's see what we do next. Alright, let's just take a quick look at him. He's looking pretty good. This is also a good time to say like, subscribe, and all that crap. Let's get to 1,000. I know you're out there. Most of you aren't subscribed, so just hit that subscribe. Right, working on the face. We got the green. We got this plague-ridden, mouldy green colour. We're not going to use a lot. I don't want my model to be green in colour, but I do want him to look a little bit sickly, a little diseased, so that whatever zit, pus, hole, whatever you want to call it, just putting some on there. As you can see, the raised bits have gone green, and then where it's blending in with the brown wash, it's going yellowy. I rather liked it. I want his hand that has a bandage to have a slight hint of green to it as well. And as you can see, I'm just picking at some random spots and dabbing it on. There's no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. I'm just picking areas and putting it on to see what happens. Now I want a part of him to look a little sore, a little burnt, so I grabbed the purple alchemy. This is a lovely colour. I used it on some other models as hair, and it just looked great. We are going to apply this to roughly the same places that the green went on. So starting with his lumpy bumpy areas, we're just going to pat it on nice and gently. I want some dark areas, and then we're just going to try and bleed it into some of the wet flesh tone. You're also going to see the finger of doom coming in to dab it. That will just lighten up everything a little bit, because I don't want him to look too dark. There you go. And what will happen is I'll probably go back with some Crusader flesh again, just to finish the blending of it all up. But he is starting to take shape already. He is one ugly Mutie. I don't like saying that, but he is ugly. Then we move on to the Grave Lord Grey. This is a super dark grey, not quite black. Makes the model look a little bit old if you use it on his hair. I like to also use it on the bases as concrete, but this time around it's just going to be the guy's hair. So I'm making sure to apply nice even coats. He's got a weird side hair going on, plus a strange tuft on his burnt side. So I'm just going to make sure I get nice coverage. I don't want it bleeding into the flesh tones that we've got going on at the moment. And then we move on to hardened leather. This is a big part of it. This is going to be the coat. I want to make sure I'm getting heavy application on the detail. So you see, I'm actually starting by seeking out any of the holes, any of the seams. I want to make sure they're covered first. So if I do accidentally go over again, it will just make them even darker. This stage takes a little while, so we're going to skip ahead. At this stage you can see what the model is going to now look like. His face is starting to dry really well. I'm really happy with the melted cursed earth flesh effect I've got going on. His coat looks cool. I'm going to apply a different shade of brown for the inside. And I'm thinking his t-shirt I'm going to leave like a whitish grey. But then I also noticed his hair. I missed a bit of his hair. So I've gone back in, reactivated the grey. Not very well, but just enough to get the paint going. Annoyingly, it's close to the brown, which I've only just applied, so it's wet, which isn't helping matters, but luckily this is a darker colour, so it overwhelms the brown, and I'm able to fill it in. But yeah, I think he's looking great at the moment. If you like it so far, remember to hit that like button and subscribe. Now for the inner of the coat, we're using Sand Golem. This is like a earthy yellow, I guess you'd call it. I'm going to use it to represent the lining on the inside of the coat. So we're going to start in the bluer areas where I know the paint has dried, and then we'll move towards the sections that are closer to the brown. As you can see just then, I used my paintbrush because I saw there was a little bit of blue on the inside of the coat, and I just rubbed it back and forwards. The Sand Golem yellow activated the blue just in that section and scrubbed it away. I'm doing it again here, just scrubs it away. I'm able to blend it in so it doesn't stand out as much as it could. I could have just used white paint and cleaned up the model, but you know by now I'm pretty lazy. I like quick results, that's why I love speed paint, and I think we're gonna get a great result off this model. He is looking stunning already. I'm really happy. I hope you guys are too. I hope this series is giving you some inspiration. I'm trying to paint as much Judge Dredd as I can this year, because I want to be gaming more, but I only want to use painted miniatures. The terrain is going to be an issue because I hate painting terrain, but I am starting to amass some, which is pretty good, and I really want to start rolling some dice. So there you go, he is probably 99% done, just got his base and his white t-shirt left to go. For the white shirt, we are going to be using the Holy White, but I wanted to make sure it dried up a little bit, so I turned the camera off for about 10 minutes, left the light on, the heat from the lamp dried it up. I just saw a little white patch on his elbow that I will fix up later. But we should be in a good position now. We're in the home straight. I'm going to throw on Agrak's Earthshade, and that's going to just help darken everything up. It's at this stage as well that I decided to not bother with the Holy White. Wasn't really needed. I'm feeling like this wash, when it goes on, will help darken up his t-shirt enough and make it look grimy. I did think about using a black wash, but I thought it would be too dark. This guy's meant to look dirty. He's come out of the wasteland. This brown's going to make him look dirty rather than shaded, I guess. And God, I'm so technical on this channel. You must love it. And yeah, I'm just slapping it on. I'm not worried about bleed because it shouldn't. It's sat long enough for the paint to start setting. This wash, I'm just dabbing it on as best as I can, moving it around. This dries pretty quickly as well, but once it has dried it will have set the paint in place. As you can see, I'm just going around, messed up his coat a little bit there, but ultimately if you don't drag the paint too much, you shouldn't have any issues. And with these final dabs, we are going to set him on the side and let him dry up. I'll take some pictures. You can see the results. Be sure to check out the community tab because I will have his stats available there for the Games Workshop RPG. And I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, say hello. I don't know, shout bananas in the comments. And I'll catch you next week. Cheers for watching.